Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is all about opportunities in commercial real estate. We talk about how some people, investors and buyers, they're going to wait for the rates to change and for there to be more inventory and waiting and wanting. And our philosophy here is that, the deals that are out there now won't still be out there when the rates change. So this is always the time to act. And rather than waiting for inventory, waiting for people to bring you proposals, there's plenty of opportunities out there right now to develop, to increase your business, and that's whatever your involvement is in commercial real estate. So, we're going to talk about things, opportunities for investors, for brokers, for lenders, for contractors, and they often come from the same possibility. So there's room for everybody, and that's what I want to do on the presentation today. Just share some of the things that I'm aware of, some things that, yes, I'm working on where there's room for more ideas maybe you can share with investors, with brokers, with contractors, with lenders, people you are working with that you want in your network for ways to be able to grow your business. Just by way of background, again, my name's Dave Kohl. The leader of the Commercial Real Estate Action Group, and we've also got some other folks with us this afternoon. So, welcome on board. I'm the CEO of First In Real Estate Marketing, which is at firstin.com. Been in this position since September of 1992. So this all started before the internet took hold, and been involved with kind of utilizing the latest in technology with market research skills, marketing, working on feasibility studies, case studies, property presentations, just all kinds of things, especially with market research. Lately been kind of advising, consulting, and training investors and brokers and just partners to commercial real estate. So it's my pleasure to be hosting the event today. We will have time for questions at the end. The first opportunity I want to talk about, we've actually done entire sessions on, but want to just talk a little bit about that. And this is cottage homes on wheels. Now, there's a number of reasons for this, and just going to kind of give an overview about the opportunities that these create. These are, as you can see in the picture, or hopefully everybody can see the pictures clearly. So these are on wheels. They're on platforms similar to RV platforms. So these are actually manufactured and delivered ready to go. You need utilities hookup and that type of thing, obviously. The difference between these and tiny homes or even modular housing is that these are zoned for agricultural and RV properties. These are not zoned for residential. So the question becomes, how does this fit in with commercial real estate and with opportunities? So these can be brought again on agricultural property. There's no need to worry about tiny homes or trying to get approval from the municipality. These are zoned ready to go because they're on wheels for agricultural and RV property. So that means farmland. And one example is you can go, there's a lot of these college towns out there. And so, where you can go 10, 15 minutes away from campus, you're in the middle of cornfields and farms. So, non productive or even productive farmland or agricultural properties can be used to place these. And so they're great for student housing. That's why we went with that campus example. Also, it may be for short term rentals. If it's agricultural areas that, let's say, it's near the state park, the national park, the recreation areas, where people would want to rent these for the weekend so they don't have to lug their RV everywhere, or they don't want to stay at a hotel. They just want somewhere they can crash for the night. It's got heating, it's got ventilation, it has electricity, it has facilities for you, and that's a way to kind of be out in the open. So you can see from the photo examples, you can do communities. They make great student housing, could also be possibly employee or temporary housing. So that's the opportunities for commercial real estate. You can make agricultural or RV land, but especially agricultural land a whole lot more valuable by adding this income opportunity for an owner, or being able to have an agricultural property owner possibly partner with an investor to do that on their property. So, just for a little bit more, again, zoned for agricultural and RV. Here, the picture on this on the left side, that's an example. That's non-productive farmland with the trees and with the slopes and everything. There's a way you can turn that into income, not subject to residential inspection. You do not need to get approval from the municipality. They're delivered move-in ready, no construction or supply chain delays. They're fully insulated, ready for hookup. The purchaser could order them one at a time or bulk orders. You could do a community of 10 or 100. There's financing available. There's also additional profit centers that go along with this. For example, if you're using it for student housing, you can you could perhaps start your own shuttle service back and forth or hire one. Maybe you want a laundry facility, a self-storage facility nearby. Put in a solar panels, be able to sell the electricity to areas around there. So all kinds of income possibilities that make properties more attractive. So for an investor, these are opportunities to be able to generate more income off agricultural properties, maybe finance these properties so that a farmer or landowner can eventually make a nice profit. If you're a broker, this could help to facilitate a transaction. There's even a way that you could receive we'll use the term royalty, since we can't say commission on these, and that's no matter what state these are sold in. They could be ready within 100 days. That's any time of the year. No construction delays, no supply chain issues. Works on non-productive land, any weather conditions, and you can expand at your own pace. So that's one of our opportunities we want to feature today. The next one is actually one that my office is not at all involved in. This is not a commercial for things that I'm working on, but we want you to be able to think about and experience new opportunities. So high-speed rail, which is in place in a couple of parts of the country, but here's ways to possibly profit. Now, this company, Brightline West, which I have no affiliation with, nor does any of our groups on this webinar. So they are in the process of putting together a high-speed passenger rail system between Las Vegas and Southern California, almost to Los Angeles, about 45 minutes to an hour east of downtown Los Angeles. It'll be docking at the west end. No, not docking, trains don't dock, but that's where the station will be in Rancho Cucamonga. So this is 218 miles, and it's not going to start operating until something like 2028. I mean, this is going to be a long construction process, and they're estimated to be carrying millions of passengers with daily operation throughout the year. So we see this as a ton of opportunities. For example, the communities. Now, Rancho Cucamonga is the end stop. There will be at least one station, one stop along the way. Rancho Cucamonga, as you can see in the graphics, has a population of $176,000. You can see about the median household income and a little bit about the city. So in our presentation about this, it's the idea that there's going to be so many opportunities, aside from constructing the train line, which of course is available to contractors. But you know what? Those contractors, people working on the project over the next couple of years, this is not going to be in operation until somewhere around 2028. So there's going to be people that will need a temporary place to live. And temporary, we may mean a couple of years while they're working on the project. That creates residential opportunities, probably rentals. People may or may not want to buy there. But in terms of owning property there, think about it. There's going to be a large commuter station. Millions of people are going to be going through this over the course of the year. So look at everything nearby. If you own property there, especially that can be used for multifamily, there may be people that would want to make frequent trips to Las Vegas for any one of a number of reasons. They want to live near that train station, maybe even commute. You laugh, it's going to be a 2 hour and something ride, which is half the driving time, but people can get a lot of work done on that train, or maybe they go into the office a couple of times a week, whatever the case might be. So this will be opportunities that will likely drive up the cost of single family homes as well as for multifamily parcels. Not everybody knows about this project, so this may be the time to bid on land for development or existing properties in Rancho Cucamonga before the owners, current owners, realize what's going to be happening. So that's one part of the opportunity. There are so many more. Now, from a business point of view, commercial construction, and yes, you could even go with modular construction for various size buildings. But just think about it. There's going to be a need for office space, especially for retail space, restaurants, services, auto repair is one example. If downtown Los Angeles is less than an hour away, so are Riverside and San Bernardino, so are parts of Orange County, a whole lot of Southern California within an hour of there. People are going to drive there. They might need some auto repair or be able to leave their car for some minor repairs while they hop the train to Vegas, be able to get it when they come back. Multifamily, we mentioned things like extended parking may be a possibility for people that want to spend the weekend or spend a week in Las Vegas or are coming to Southern California from Las Vegas, whatever the case might be. So, again, restaurants, all these different types of businesses. Rancho Cucamonga is currently not set up to be large enough to accommodate this many people. That's where there's opportunities for investors, for brokers, for contractors, for lenders that will loan on these deals, things like construction loans, different types of funding. Financing. If you're into financing or that's what you do, again, look at what can be financed. Multifamily, single family, as we mentioned, restaurant, retail, mixed use, parking, services. Maybe there's construction loans, land loans, rehab and renovation loans. There's the possibility on the investor side to form a syndication to go after large property or properties. Joint venture or partnership, lenders with private money and hard money that like the area and are familiar with the project. So, some opportunities that way. That's just from that bullet train project. Rancho Cucamonga, there's some other cities involved in this where there's going to be stations and also some possibilities at the end in Las Vegas. The idea is if you're not convenient to California, Southern California, or Las Vegas, and you don't have to be involved in this, we want to get you thinking, seeing opportunities because there are other large developments. We've put in the group, we've had some posts about how there is more planning for infrastructure. Several states just saw something where Washington State has passed for additional billions of dollars for infrastructure, rebuilding bridges and interchanges. So, you know what? There's a new interchange coming up on the interstate. Maybe it's going to be a new interchange, maybe rebuilding one that's going to call attention, maybe make it easier for cars and trucks to get there. Well, guess what? That opens up the possibility for restaurants and motels and different types of retail business that you see along the highway. Maybe some manufacturing plants, employers, different types of businesses. So you want to be aware of that before it happens. Using that train possibility just as an example. So that's not going to be ready until 2028, but there's all this construction time going on. So as you're finding out, you're researching, finding out about these projects, guess what? You might be able to work with somebody on getting in on some land nearby that's available because somebody doesn't want to wait 2 years and 3 years, or they don't see the potential that you see for being able to benefit financially from that type of opportunity. That's kind of our theme today, what that's all about. Now, another thing to take a look at, you got a couple of second preview, it's things like as you're researching different areas, Be aware of zoning possibilities. Now, this is something I've talked about in some other presentations, but I'm going to bring it up again here. This is from an actual property in Chattanooga, Tennessee, downtown Chattanooga, that was offered earlier this year. It's right now a two-story commercial building, a corner lot in downtown Chattanooga, a very busy and upcoming area. The first floor is ideal for a restaurant. Second floor has some office and some empty space. It's downtown. There's parking nearby. There's plenty of pedestrian traffic. And so the first level is almost 6,000 square feet of what was a restaurant, and that's what it could be. The second floor has some offices. Again, there's parking, there's garages surrounding, there's events downtown, there's current parking on the site that generates revenue. But here's the thing. You will see in the listing, the property highlights. The first bullet point says zoned D-SH-6. That 6 means this property is zoned for up to 6 stories. It's currently a 2-story building. The asking price is based on the square footage and based on a 2-story building. So if you are a developer, if you know a developer, if you want to work with a developer, they can run the numbers. What would it cost to add construction and build 1, 2, 3, or even 4 more stories? If they own the property, they can research and find out what our office and what our commercial space is renting for in that area per square foot. They could maybe rent a whole floor, could be some type of a corporate office, or they could section it off however they want. Maybe there's room for a fitness center. Maybe part of it could be a hotel. Maybe it could be all kinds of things. There's all this possibilities. So let's say as a developer or an investor, you run the numbers, see what it's going to cost to make this a 3, 4, 5, or 6-story building, and how advantageous that can be for you. Now, think about that. And this is how we create opportunities. This is what we're talking about. Because suppose you're finding all these favorable opportunities, favorable numbers in this property. Let's say you know that building some additional stories could double or maybe even almost triple your monthly potential income after expenses. It'll take a few years, but you can still do that. So you're going in knowing that. But you go into the owner and say, well, gee, I don't know if I can use that second floor. And gee, I don't know. And what's been in there before? And can we do this? And you're trying to get the price down based on the 2-story building. When the second you close on the transaction, you can get ready, get your construction crew out there and start working on expanding this property. You can be researching what else is available in that area, what's needed, how can you do this? So that's the type of thing of creating an opportunity. I don't have a slide to show it on this presentation, but I will tell you the story. So there was a residential broker in a small town, even smaller than Chattanooga. This was in, I believe, in Wisconsin. He was looking for luxury single family inventory to sell. There just weren't enough houses fitting that description. Well, it turned out there was a multifamily listing. I believe it was 4 units that was within his farm area that had been on the market for close to 6 months with no activity, and it was in his area. And people just weren't going after it. That wasn't what that market would bear. Well, this one broker finally looked at the zoning of this parcel, saying, how come this parcel is, with the multifamily, the 4 units, was sitting there when there's this demand for luxury housing? Found out that this one, actually, let me change that story, it was a 6-unit building. So it was zoned multifamily, or that's what was on there. And he found out that in addition to being zoned for multifamily, the zoning also allowed single family on that parcel. And so what he did was He put together an email to some local investors that he knew, got one of them, or a couple of them actually, one of them that responded, went on to buy that parcel, got the price down because this thing had been on the market for 6 months, and basically bought it for land value. It was still a lot of money, but he knew for what he could sell that luxury home for that this would work. So he got a good deal on this multifamily, had it torn down, built a luxury single family home that was going to wind up being listed at something like $90,000 more than what he had paid for that parcel and for the demolition and the building. So there was plenty of room there. And as it so happens, the same broker wound up selling the luxury family home. So the result of that, seizing that opportunity, looking at the zoning and doing that, and that's our point here. Because of that, that investor wound up making something like $90,000 within about an 8-month period on this one project. The broker spent nothing more in advertising and marketing because he had investors ready in his mailing list. So it was just a few minutes of his time to create that email, get the response, and because of that, he brokered the sale of the parcel with the multifamily and then sold the luxury family house. So this broker wound up with two commissions off the same parcel in less than a year. The investor wound up for the one project with about $90,000 profit in less than a year on just one on one prospect. And another luxury single family homeowner was placed into this area. So everybody won. That's what we're talking about in this project with creating opportunities. Zoning is another way to do that. Something else that we talk about, and we've done entire sessions for, is the ability to monitor your competitors. And so, whether you're a broker, an investor, a developer, a lender, contractor, whatever your role in commercial real estate is, you've got competition, no matter how unique you are. It might be in your same area. Maybe there's other brokers selling similar type properties, other investors that you're competing against. Maybe there's other investors in other cities that won't touch where you're at, but you can learn from your direct and indirect competition. And that's what we want to focus on. So you can find their mistakes, you can find their great ideas. Now, I've done entire sessions on mistakes that are made by brokers and investors and developers. And here's just an idea. You can find these things out by checking their social media, their posts, their online ads, their websites. So, for example, the photo on the left, and I know it's a little blurry, but these are just examples, has a price update on this parcel. It says price reduced $67,000. But even in reading the text, it doesn't tell you, is the price now $67,000 for the parcel, or was that the amount of the reduction? So we don't know. The one in the middle says just reduced, gives the address, gives a bunch of copy, does not give the price. We don't know if it was a, $100 deduction, or if the new price still makes that property worthwhile. So to us, that's an error. This one on the right, the broker for Keller Williams actually misspelled Keller Williams in their ad. And so you're not out there looking for mistakes, but two things that come from watching for things like this. You find out the mistakes, and believe me, that makes you very conscious of that. So if you're representing a property with a price reduction, you know to put in whether that's the new price or the amount of money it was reduced or both. You know to put the price in for a reduction. You proofread, make sure you're spelling your company name right. And so the idea is by scouting your competition, you can be finding out, yeah, what they do wrong, and maybe there's a way you can capitalize. You wouldn't point out on your social media, but you might in person. Hey, did you see what Joe down the street did? He did this. Man, I can't believe that. and just, somebody can go look and see that, yes, they did. Somebody screwed up. But the other reasons for monitoring your competition are you get their good ideas. Maybe you can find ways to kind of beat them. This is a example we use more like for retailers. So let's say that, you're competing shoe stores, and the other shoe store, you see that they always put their new products and their new sales go up Thursday afternoon around 2 o'clock. Well, you know what? If you're the competitor, put yours up there at 11 o'clock on Thursday morning. Beat them by a couple hours. Or keep track of what they do each week, what they put on sale. Maybe you can figure out what they're going to do, that they put men's shoes on sale the first week of the month and ladies' shoes the second week, or they do this at this time and day, so that you can know how to come in ahead of them with your marketing. So that's something we've gone into detail about, but those are ways to create opportunities. Monitor your competition. Check out their sites. You don't have to comment, they don't have to know. That's websites, social media. Follow people in your industry in the area. Get ideas of what you like, what you don't like, and keep track of them, of what you find, whether you like it or not. Get to know their trends. Things happen, like you say, boy, this person or this company, they really do a great job with their marketing. I like how they do A, B, and C. Well, maybe you're going to have occasion to work with them or want to work with them. Now, you may find some people and companies you don't want to work with, but what a great way to find that out by checking and monitoring what they do. That's a lot less costly than taking the risk with them and losing some money because of it. So monitoring your competition is very much another way of being able to find and create opportunities combined with all these skills. Now, one other, and I know we have some lenders and so forth on here, but with marketing non-traditional or non-conventional loans. Oh yeah, here's another way, actually. I will get to lending opportunity in a moment, but another way for finding and tracking opportunities, alerts. Yahoo and Google both have alert features. So this one's an example of a Google alert that I do for real estate auctions. And so what happens is that in my case, every day I get an email from Google, as you can see here, with links to current articles, or usually within the past 24 hours, or as they're scouring websites all over the country and in some cases all over the world. So I get information about auctions. I get a whole list. I can even expand that list. And so I see headlines. So you can set up alerts for home sales in whatever community you're tracking, for auctions, for first-time buyers, for any, category that relates to what you do. And you can do this with Google and Yahoo. You can even go on either one and search for Google Alerts, and for or Yahoo Alerts, and it will show you how to do that. You can enter in your category, edit your preferences, and be able to go from there. So you can schedule the frequency, you can adjust, and as far as I know, there's no limit to this. So that's a great resource for information. And again, you're not going to open up and read, 20 articles every day, but you can go by the headlines, say, oh, that one's worth reading about, and be able to take your notes, have your sources. So again, another way, finding and tracking, those are ways to create opportunities. You may see an article that, for example, there's going to be a new grocery store coming to the neighborhood that you serve, work in, or invest in. And it's going to open, this is late October when we're doing this live. Maybe it's scheduled to open next September. So now you've got a few months to, if you're going for homeowners, to be able to say, hey, homeowners within a couple of blocks, look how close you're going to be to the new grocery store. It's going to attract employees. Maybe it's a new business, a new manufacturing plant, a new opportunity. People are maybe going to want to live closer. Maybe there's some type of a, transportation act, or the train station near a certain area is going to be rebuilt or rehabbed. Well, that's a benefit to the residents. So you can track business news, business stories, real estate, anything you want to keep up on what's going to happen. This is actually how I found out about the bullet train opportunity we talked about a few minutes ago, was from doing a search and finding out and reading about it and seeing all the opportunities, or determining all the opportunities that exist. So that is a great way to do that. Now, another way to go about opportunities, modular housing. And so mentioned that briefly earlier. It comes pre-constructed, so there's no construction issues or delays. Weather is not a factor. Um, it's also supply chain issues do not happen. Your costs are fixed. They come in many shapes and sizes, including multifamily, large commercial buildings, smaller, even, tiny home sized, commercial, residential, and mixed use. So there's the website right there for modular construction, because no, we're not asking you to buy them or to sell them. The point is that could make a project. That modular construction, that could take maybe 2, 3 months versus a year to build a whole multifamily complex. You don't have the seasonal delays. So this could accelerate getting a project done. You can maybe be involved with buying or selling a parcel that could accommodate these. Even we talked about the 2-story building zone for 6 floors. Modular construction may be a way to add to a property. So that's where we want to get you thinking. How can you quickly add to your income potential, no matter what your role is? Now, a way to accelerate residential construction, even from a commercial point of view, because if you've got a development of, 24 or 48, or a lot of single family homes, that's considered commercial. And so, one program, and this is exclusive, so this is not something that lenders could directly take over. So, lenders, cover your ears for the next couple of minutes. But for the rest of you, this is something that's newly available, and I do have information on that. It's a 100% vertical residential construction funding program. And so, provided the land is used as collateral, and this is for, excuse me, for established builders only. So it works for, as we say, entire developments. You could do this 3, 4 homes at a time. You could do it, if you've got the land and, the proof of performance, you could do a whole series of homes. It's 100% vertical residential construction funding, which means that that will fund building the house. Now, these loans do go for maybe a 1 to 2 year term, because that's how long it should take to build it and sell it. But it is a way to get more homes or more single family, more properties built within a shorter period of time. So, those are some specific opportunities. Those are some ideas for opportunities. We want you to grow, be able to identify, find, and network for opportunities in commercial real estate. All right. Again, it's been my pleasure to present this to you. I'm Dave Kohl. You're welcome to contact me for following up on any of the information that we've talked about. I do want to open it up for questions, and not everybody can hear everybody, but let's see what we've got for questions out there. And of course, we do thank you so much for attending our session today. So, all right. And okay. Well, yes, I'm getting some questions in the chat. And again, bear with us. We've got